Knowing when you should jump into buying precious metals is difficult. Prices fluctuate and one doesn't want to buy at the top of the market only to watch the price drop. But at the same time, there's that fear of missing out, FOMO. You hear the economy might crash and you want to buy safe haven assets. So what do you do? In this video, I'm going to go over why it's a bad idea to wait for the bottom of the precious metals market before buying them. Coming up. Welcome to Campbell's Coins. Let's just dive into things. The term buy low, sell high has been around for ages. It refers to buying at the bottom of the market of a particular item or asset and selling at the top of the market before the price falls back down again. But how does one know if they are purchasing at the bottom of the market or at the top of the market? Vice versa, how does one know if they're selling at the top of the market or if they're selling at the bottom of the market? For the precious metals market, it is difficult to time when it's the top or the bottom, and it's difficult to tell which is which. Well, for me, it's easy to answer these questions, and I'm not bloviating for my own sake. I'm letting you know that there are signs out there, and it's easy to tell if you can pick up on these signs. Indications telling us which direction things are headed and how to act. I'm not talking about financial charts, although those certainly can help. I'm referring to other indicators. The supply of these metals, the demand of the metals, the usage of these metals, the overall health of the economy, how much money is being printed, what government policies are being implemented, etc. All of these can act as an indicator for how precious metals will react in price. Recently, there was a group, Wall Street Bets, talking about buying the silver stock SLV to short squeeze the banks and hedge funds. As I pointed out in my last video on Monday, this was not a good idea. Subsequently, the movement failed. The price rose to $29, I think like maybe $29.80 for a couple of days, and then dropped back down to $26.50. What it did cause was a movement to buy physical silver, and this was unprecedented movement. The demand for the physical stuff shot through the roof. Almost 1 million ounces of silver was sold last weekend. To give you some perspective, 50,000 to 100,000 ounces of silver is sold on a typical weekend. So we're talking 10 to 20 times higher than normal. APMEX, a major online bullion dealer, said that they had as many new customers on January 30th than they had all week long. As a result, they and nearly every other bullion dealer halted the sale of silver, something I have not seen in a very long time. They wanted to wait until the markets opened back up on Sunday evening to see what the effect this demand and talk about silver pumping and purchasing would actually have on the price. And frankly, good for them. By the way, if you're a buyer out there pissed off or demanding a seller sell a product to you for a specific price, ask yourself if you are willing to sell your silver for that same spot price you're demanding to buy for. If your answer is no, you didn't pass the hypocrisy test and you should kind of re-examine how you think things. Anytime you see an online bullion dealer start to get lead times listed on their site, the price will start to go up. It happened in 2008, it happened in March 2020, and it's happening again. As a result of demand, premiums have gone up a lot. The silver supply that was once healthy is nearly gone, and it takes at least a month to replenish that supply as long as the supply line isn't hindered. Last March, we had COVID slowing down the mining and refining processes. We still have COVID going on, but things are kind of ramped up a little bit more, so things are pumping out. This year, 2021, the US Mint has come out and said that there's been so much demand that they have not been able to keep up with it. So premiums on precious metals will remain high on silver products and gold products until supply can catch up. The markets are telling you something. The high premiums and delayed shipping messages is saying there's super high demand for precious metals. According to Bloomberg, there's 50 buyers of silver right now to every seller. If you see out of stock silver and gold, that is another message. telling you that there isn't enough supply to fill the demand. This is the time to buy because something big is about to happen. The price is about to shoot up. In addition to supply and demand, another indicator is looking at the world around you. Do things make sense? I'm filming this video February 4th, 2021. The government is keeping people from working. People have lost their jobs and many are not working. Many businesses have permanently closed due to the lockdowns. The government is printing trillions in loans and stimulus checks. But the stock market keeps ticking higher. The stock market is essentially held up by 6 companies. Mortgage defaults are almost pending. And Biden is sending troops into Syria and saying that Iran is, quote, weeks away from a bomb. The problem with this lie is that it's been repeated for the last 10 years. So we have another endless war coming. If I were to tell you last February in 2020, all of this stuff going on right now, you'd swear gold and silver prices were sky high, much higher than they are right now. But gold and silver spot price dropped dramatically today because the job earnings report wasn't as low as expected. Not that it was super high, because it isn't, only because it wasn't as low as was expected. Go to your online precious metals dealers. Go to your LCS. Most of them are back ordered on government bullion. Your silver eagles, gold eagles, etc. either sold out or very high premiums. Where is the supply coming to fill the demand? The answer is it isn't, at least not anytime soon. Even if you were to recognize the bottom of the market and decide that now is the time to purchase, you're competing with everyone else too. Everyone else wants cheap precious metals and demand will skyrocket when they see that the price drops. Just because paper price on gold and silver falls doesn't mean the premiums will fall too. Back in March 2020, the price of silver dipped down to $11, but there wasn't any silver to buy. If you found some, you were lucky. Most of the time, the silver had an extremely high premium. Spot was 11, but I saw it mostly selling for 18 or higher. That's because vendors who were buying at $18 were going to start selling at $11 or $12 for you buyers because they knew the price would quickly rebound and go much higher than it did. And it did go that way. The same thing happened in 2008. The price on precious metals plummeted, but it was extremely difficult to get your hands on any at the time. The price of silver, I remember, fell to $7, but silver eagles were still selling for $18, some even up to $29. Most bullion dealers had a 3 to 6 month wait on small deliveries, and premiums soon surpassed the price they were at before the crash. This stuff happens in repetitive patterns. So when you see all these things that I had mentioned, bad economic signs, massive money printing, more endless wars, short supply of precious metals with very high demand, I know the gold and silver price will go up. And I'm not talking about spot price necessarily. I'm talking about prices sold on bullion websites and at your LCS. Spot price really doesn't make any sort of sense. And please don't freak out when you see the spot price drop. Spot price reflects the paper market, the stock market, which is not reality. A clear sign we are in a manipulated market is the demand for silver has surged and all the supply out there is wiped out. But the paper price has fallen. It's very obvious the physical price and paper price have separated. So why use spot price to value a metal when that spot price doesn't reflect the reality of the metal? I hope that some of this information has helped you see why gold and silver are vastly undervalued and why it's imperative for you to buy physical gold and silver today. Do not wait for the bottom of the market. Do not wait for silver to drop to your precious $15 an ounce. Those days are long gone. Do not wait for gold to drop down to $1,500 or $1,300 an ounce. If it does do that, you will not find it. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Even if prices go down to these levels, you're not going to find them available for that price at your LCS or bullion dealers. They're going to be much higher. So get them today while you can, because if you wait, you're going to be like all those other people who waited for that specific price only to not have anything. Don't buy SLV and GLD. That stuff is junk. Only physical precious metals will do. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I appreciate you all so much for watching. This is Campbell's Coins, and that is my 2 cents.